YouTube, what's going on? Another Summoning Salt video today. As always, go show love to Summoning Salt and the original video. Today we are checking out the history of Mega Man 2 world records. I've been wanting to watch this one for a while. So while I'm charging my phone for more Destiny, let's get to it.
Viewers with photosensitive epilepsy. Viewer discretion is advised.
Be warned, gamers. Be warned. God, the music hits every time. Chris, what the hell? So toxic. What the helly? Dude, I had bought the Mega Man Legacy Collection when it first came out, and I regretted it instantly. These games are so bullshit.
Is one of the most prestigious on the NES. For nearly 2 decades, it's had a lively competitive scene, with world record holders polishing their skills to see who can beat it the quickest. It requires precision and finger speed that would even make Mike Tyson proud. Because to speedrun Mega Man 2 at the top level, you must break it. After all, walls are just suggestions, and ceilings are figments of our imagination. This is the story
this is going to be a good one.
How speedrunners broke Mega Man 2.
All these games are truly dog shit. They really are.
Of Mega Man
They're
2
impossible.
World records.
Mega Man 2 is generally a good game that is hard but not fuck you in the face difficult. Is it is it 1 or 3 that is fuck you in the face difficult? How's the audio so far, by the way? In OBS it looks perfect. All 3. 3 is fucking impossible.
And now a word from this video's sponsor, NordVPN. For years, Potato Sock 500 was the fastest internet surfer in the world. He was the undisputed record holder, and nothing could slow him down. But that all changed one day in September 2022.
What?
His arch rival, Super Doodle,
what does that even mean?
Hacked his data and stole his IP address. And just like that, Potato Sock's record reign came to an end. He should have been using NordVPN. By going to NordVPN,
I know there's like a Wikipedia speedrun
and getting a huge discount off a 2-year plan,
where you're given a word and you have or like a name or a brand or something, and you have to like figure out without typing it directly.
Surfing the internet with a protected
like you have to get to it the fastest way possible.
Coveted world record. To avoid a costly mistake like Potato Sock made, get the best NordVPN deal on the internet. Thanks again to NordVPN.
I assume this is just a bit.
First sponsor. Please go check out nordvpn.com/summoningsalt. Your support really goes a long way.
I don't know why I let this play. This video is like 10 years old.
So, where do we begin?
So there's no way that's still active.
The early history of Mega Man 2's world record is an enigma to uncover. In the mid-2000s,
Sam, honestly, I didn't know because people speedrun anything.
With and
you can
without
wall
video
jump?
proof on different versions of the game and with different rule sets. At certain points in time, what would be considered the true world record was ambiguous, and to this day, putting together an accurate timeline is quite difficult. Yet, through all that, there's one run that's pretty unanimously considered to be the first world record.
So Sam, you should stop holding your tongue. Your hand's gonna go yucky. You know?
The runner was Richard Ureta, and his final time was 30 minutes and 39 seconds.
I love seeing this graph over the course of these videos.
In Mega Man 2, you're presented with 8 stages you can complete in any order. Ureta decided to start with Airman, where he precisely jumped on the lips of blocks to avoid slowing down.
Bro.
You only have about a 4-pixel window to do so, and risk dying from a missed jump. He
already, that's so hard.
On the clouds to make it further in the stage.
At this point, my time was 30:38, but I didn't record it. You're so modest. That's what I like about you. You don't want to make speedrunners feel bad.
Ureta then played Quickman stage, where he repeatedly wrote item 2 to quickly skip through long corridors. Quickman himself has a random pattern, but Ureta once again took him down nicely with the Mega Buster. Next up was Flashman, where Airman's weapon was used on larger enemies, and item 2 helped him skip over the last room.
Oh,
On Metal
damn.
Man stage, Yoretta froze time with Flashman's weapon so he could run through without the spikes falling on him.
What the fuck?
He also jumped forward on the conveyors moving against him, so he wouldn't be pushed back.
That makes sense,
was
yeah.
utilized once again, although he had to carefully maneuver around spawning enemies.
That's one thing
On
that
the
old
boss
games
fight,
do that drives
he
me
used
crazy
quick
is you just go
boomerangs,
invisible when you
which
get
is
hit.
Metal Man's weakness. With 4 robot masters down,
Sam, that sounds
and
like hell.
Metal Man's
Literal hell.
overpowered weapon acquired.
Yeah, is the audio okay?
Yoretta went
Audio's good?
into Bubble Man stage.
Should be fine.
The shrimp and fish are quite weak to metal blades, so Yoretta was able to jump up and shoot them down to quickly
That is
clear a
perfect.
path
Alright, thank you,
ahead.
thank you.
It was similar to how a casual player would get through the stage, but the key difference is that Yoretta never stopped running. He precisely maneuvered and barely let go of right on the D-pad. On Heat Man stage, Yoretta once again jumped from column to column without slowing down.
See, this
He
looks so
used item
easy,
2
but
to
like
cross
a
the
normal
lava
person is
gap
trying to
later
kill all the
on,
enemies and it's
used
just impossible.
Bubble lead on Heat Man. Heat has random delays between his shots, but since it only takes 3 bubbles to kill him, they hardly mattered at all here.
Bro.
More on those delays later. Next
Jumping a
up
foot
is
opposite.
Crash
Yeah, it's so
Man,
simple.
Whose stage is
Just
filled
run,
with
forehead.
ladders that you normally have to slowly climb. However, if you place down an item 3 while you're climbing up the ladder, you can then jump off of it and save a bit of time. Yoretta also used
Oh.
item 1 to his advantage by letting him bypass ladder sections altogether, and avoid having to ride on the slow conveyors.
Dude, I didn't even know you could do
Finally,
this.
There was Woodman. Yoretta's most notable
Woodman,
strategy
aka
here
Mark.
was
Whoa,
using
now.
Flashman's time stopper to prevent the dogs from spawning.
I didn't even know
After
you
a
used the time.
sharp
So I don't know
two-shot
shit
to
about this
Woodman,
game apparently.
He'd completed the 8 robot stages. But now, the game's difficulty takes a big step up. It's time for the Wily stages.
With an S? There's more than one?
Wily
I thought you
1
did the
is
8 robots
similar
and
to
you do one in the
Crash
middle.
Man's stage, and that there are several ladders you have
What
to
the
climb
fuck?
up. Yoretta used both item 1 and item 3 to help, then mashed quick boomerang at the dragon boss for a quick kill.
Where
In
even
Wily
is he?
2, Yoretta shot the leaf shield to protect against projectiles in the long corridor. They randomly drop health and ammo, which are bad luck in a speedrun since it slows you down to pick them up. Wily 3 is the easiest Wily stage.
That's
with the
crazy.
only tough part being at the end.
That health and
where you
ammo
have to
fucks
jump
you
up
over.
and mash boomerangs
Oh, I
as
know this
fast as
guy.
possible. The final 3 Wily stages are perhaps the most important in the entire run. Wily
Oh, actually,
4
yeah, okay, I've
features
seen
an
that map.
enormous sequence of ladders at the start.
Actually, you know what? Now
with
that
several careful
yeah,
item 3
didn't I beat this game once in 20 minutes?
Yoretta was able to quickly traverse
yeah.
his way to the
Chris
top
remembers.
while barely slowing down.
Yeah.
Then,
Now I remember.
you have
It's just
4
it happened so
spike
fast I didn't
screens to
remember
get
it.
through. Normally, you're supposed to ride around on the conveyor and dodge enemies. But Richard Yoretta had other ideas. In the first room, he took damage and used iframes to barely make it across the spikes.
That's
In the
crazy.
third room, he used item 2 to quickly get iframes again. And in the fourth room, he used item 1 to just barely reach the conveyor early and make it to the exit. In Wily 5, you refight the 8 robots. Yoretta used each boss's
Oh, that's
weakness
Guts Man?
against them, meaning most fights were completed in a matter of seconds. For the stage boss, he used metal blades to tear through the first phase, and then a crash
Oh, this
bomb
is hard
you'd
on the
save from
eyes.
the Wily 4 boss.
This game is disgusting.
And finally,
It's
there
so
was Wily
hideous, bro.
6. For the stage itself, you just walk to the end without slowing down. But the alien boss is another story. You have to hit him with 14 bubbles, and if you make contact with him, known as hugging the alien, he tanks your health. Yoretta's strategy was to get hit by a projectile, then use the iframes to briefly mash bubble lead as fast as he could.
Oh, this
avoided
is so
hugging
bad
the
on the eyes. Yeah.
alien And closed out the run at 30:39.
Jesus.
And with that, Mega Man 2 had its first world record. It was a solid run with few big mistakes, but at the end of the day, was it that far removed from a pristine casual playthrough? Yoretta was obviously much more skilled
Yeah?
than a casual player,
I
and
hope
tricks
so.
like damage boosting in Wily 4 did help, but running through
I'm
the
curious,
stages
how long
and
to beat? What is it?
obliterating the
What's the
bosses with their
average for a
weaknesses
normal
isn't
person?
necessarily that difficult to do. For the next couple of years, there would be little
3
activity.
hours?
But then, the timeline starts to get tricky. See, Mega
Maybe
Man
that's
2
because the
lets
only
you
people
play
that
on
beat it
either
are cracked.
normal or difficult mode.
Normal people don't even finish the game.
Difficult mode means enemies take more shots to kill, particularly the bosses. Yoretta's run was on normal mode, since it's faster than difficult mode. But in late 2006, a vibrant speedrunning community for the game would form in Japan. There, the game is known as Rockman 2, and it has one distinct difference. It defaults to difficult mode, with no option to change it.
Bro.
You'd think that would mean it's slower than Mega Man 2, but text cutscenes take significantly less time in Rockman 2. So much less time that it ends up being a wash with the time lost from playing on difficult mode.
Interesting.
So, Rockman 2 and Mega Man 2 runs are comparable in time, but Rockman 2 is considered the more challenging speedrun.
Well, yeah.
And after a series of improvements through 2007, despite playing on a more difficult version of the game, a runner from Japan named Lambda would beat Yoretta's run by over a minute.
What the fuck?
Lambda saved time in just about every stage, despite bosses taking much longer. A lot of it came from just being a bit cleaner everywhere, fewer small mistakes, and tighter execution.
So perfect.
This added up big time over the course of the run. In Wily 4, you can see how more item 3 placements and faster movement saved Lambda significant time. In all,
You can just jump
this
through
run
that?
felt like less of an expert's casual playthrough and more like a polished speedrun, boosted by the fact that he played on a more difficult version of the game. In 2008, a runner named Hoshi would set another string of Rockman 2 records, ultimately taking it down
Who's
to
your third favorite
29:15.
streamer? I know I'm your
He
first.
saved about 3 seconds in bubble from fewer knockbacks, and about
I
4
literally
in
don't watch
flash
anyone
from
else.
better item 3
That's not
placement on the
true.
ladders.
That's not true. What's up,
Together,
Macca? How you doing?
Lambda and Hoshi had taken Rockman 2 to the next
Welcome
level.
back, homie.
This was just 2008, yet their speedruns were optimized to levels most games wouldn't see for years. But there's one thing to note about these runs. They were played according to PureCast rules, Japan's leading speedrun hub at the time. And one rule
That's a
from
different hub than the one I
PureCast
go on.
stated that auto-fire was allowed, meaning you could hold down the button and fire your weapon up to 30 times per second.
The fuck?
This made some sections of the game easier, like killing enemies without slowing down, and it made some sections
I was once told
impossibly
face-to-face
fast,
in person
like
that I
the
was someone's
alien
fifth
in
favorite
Wily
Xbox
6,
content
which
creator.
normally takes 28 shots to kill in Rockman 2.
Hey, chat, you know what you
But
do if you're a
still,
normal
their
person? You
runs
say,
certainly
hey man,
shouldn't
I love
be
your
dismissed.
content.
It's estimated that autofire only saved them about 20 seconds. The rest of the difference came from better strategies and execution.
That's fucked.
So while it's a little tricky to say how Lambda and Hoshi's runs fit into the timeline,
I mean, maybe they
it's
watched
safe to
200
say
content
that they were
creators and
by
that's really
far
good,
the
but
best executed Rockman
wow.
2 speedruns of their era.
I'm sorry I did that to you.
About
I'm sorry
2
you still
weeks
remember.
After Hoshi's 29:15, the run would once again be lowered by 10 seconds. A 29:05
Macca,
on
how
the
you doing?
North American version
What you
of
up
the
to,
game
lad?
by a runner named Seth Glass. But there's something
I've been
a
playing
bit
Destiny
different
Rising
about
on my
this run.
phone, so
See, prior speedruns of the game
I'm charging
were
it now
submitted to Twin
while we watch
Galaxies
this,
and
and then I go
PureCast,
back to that.
websites which prohibited the use of glitches. Seth Glass was submitting to Speed Demos Archive, so he
End of
was
the
free
year
to use whatever
BS.
glitches he
Cleaning
wanted.
the office, wrapping up email threads,
Boy,
organizing.
Did he ever use them?
I feel yeah. That's why I'm trying to finish Destiny Rising. Like I don't care about New Year's and stuff, but I do like wrapping things up in nice little bows. So I want Destiny done before the end of the year. Also tomorrow I
are
have to
Mega Man
remember to go
2's
ham on
zips.
Plants vs Zombies if I
Item
can,
1 rises
because if
toward
I could
top
get the
of the
completion,
screen
it'll be
and
exactly
allows you
12
to
years since I
ride
started it.
until your head hits a ceiling. However, it doesn't actually
Wasting
check
my
for a
retirement on
collision.
Pokemon cards.
Instead, item 1 detects if it's below a ceiling and then disappears once it's a certain distance away. So, if you place item 1 or item 3 away from a ceiling, but stand on the edge so Mega Man is below one, you'll get pushed into it since item 1 never despawns. And how does the game respond to Mega Man being in the ceiling? Well, if he faces to the left, it ejects him to the right.
That's how.
Ceiling
Oh
glitches
wow.
had been known in Mega Man 2 for many years,
That's
but a
fucked.
tool-assisted speedrunner named Final Fighter was the
So wait,
first
3 more
to
years to beat my
really
King Kong
explore them for their
15-year
time-saving
record.
potential.
Maybe.
He discovered several zips all across the run back in 2004.
Yeah, you'd think
many
you'd
of
get
which
crushed or
Seth
something.
Glass would use in this run 4 years later.
Or take contact damage at the end.
Glass's new route through the game, which he borrowed from the TAS, was to start with Flashman, so he could obtain item 3. Then, in Heatman stage, he'd perform the first zip. By placing an item 3 while touching the bottom of the ladder, then re-grabbing the ladder, you can jump back on it while facing right and enter the ceiling.
Bruh.
You need to face left to trigger the zip, but moving left causes Mega Man to fall out of the wall. So, Glass did what's called an A-trigger. By jumping while stuck in the ceiling, Mega Man quickly lands and cannot move for the next 4 frames. So, if you press left in that 4-frame window, Mega Man zips all the way to the right out of the wall. Seth Glass had a 15th of a second to time it, but was able to skip an enormous chunk of Heatman stage.
That's
He
so
then played
crazy.
through Airman and Crashman without any zips, although he used a beautiful new strategy in Airman stage called Fast Air. By precisely placing and jumping off of item 1, then jumping on the very edge of clouds to avoid taking damage, Glass was able to make it across the gap without having to ride on the slow-moving clouds. He then entered Quickman stage,
Insane.
where he'd place 2 item 1s down so he could jump up and enter the ceiling. To initiate the zip, Glass this time did a B trigger. By placing an item 1 in the wall, Mega Man then has 16 frames where he can't move. Press left during that window, and the zip will begin. B triggers have a window that's
I wonder how many
4
skips he
times
does.
as big as A triggers, but they can't be performed if you're out of item 1 ammo, or if there's already 3 of them on the screen.
Okay.
Triggering these zips isn't free, but it can lead to minutes of time save if utilized across the run. So, that's exactly what Seth Glass did. Glass would go on to perform zips in Metal Man, Bubble Man,
Holy
Wily
fuck.
2, and Wily 6. In the cases of Quickman and Wily 6, he had to make sure he didn't soft lock the game.
Yeah,
If your zip
that makes
leads
sense.
you into a screen transition, you have to stop the zip by pressing left or right just as you get there. If you're too late, you soft lock the game, but if you're too early, you have to wiggle. By repressing left, your zip begins again, and you can continue to adjust or wiggle until you perfectly land on the screen transition. Runners on Speed Demo's archive were thrilled to see a run of the game with zips.
That last one, he's on the top, so
But
you can't even
truth
fight the
be
boss.
told, there were still moments where it could have been better optimized. Over the next year, multiple faster times would be set, but the timeline of the official world record is problematic. In early 2009, Hoshi would get a couple runs in the high 28 range, but without autofire, they wouldn't have been faster than Glass's run. In April, a runner named Mega Destructor 9 set a time of 28:42.
Sometimes I love the
but video
usernames.
has since
Mega
been removed
Destructor.
from YouTube.
Oh.
But as the months passed, the timeline became a bit clearer. And over the next couple of years, the record would see rapid improvement.
Yeah, the
as players
2840?
implemented more and
This
more
guy's
zips.
amazing.
In December
After
2009,
Carver. Did you end up fixing it after?
NLU1 got a 2838 on Rockman 2
No, you.
without using autofire. It stood for a few months until Seth Glass came back and set a series of records on normal mode.
Fix it?
ultimately
That's good
getting a
news.
run that clocked in
Got a 2837? Oh my god.
27:51. This was a legendary
I got a
record.
2750.
It was posted to Speed Demo's
But it was my day off
archive
of streaming,
and
so-
quickly became one of the most popular runs on the site. His 2751 would go on to inspire a new generation of Mega Man 2 runners, and stands to this day as a benchmark for high-level runners to compare against. But it would only remain as the world's fastest run for about 10 months.
Maka, have you tried
when a
any
runner named
world records
Furemo
at
beat it on
Pokemon
Rockman
card
2 with a
openings?
2748. Furemo
Like
used
how
autofire,
fast you can open the
but
pack and then
only
how
at
fast
10
your heart
shots
can
per
break?
second. This is well within the rate at which humans can button mash, so it's not thought to have given him any significant advantage. In fact, he actually played at a disadvantage. Furemo played on Wii Virtual Console, which has a slower frame rate than original hardware.
I wonder
and
if
loses about 9 seconds over the course of the run. But Furemo would only be on top for about a month and a half.
I wonder if the Mega Man Legacy Collection is going to be in this, and if it changes anything because like it loads faster.
Slowly implemented in the preceding runs, came together in a legendary performance by NOU1. This was by far the best run of Rockman 2 ever completed. NOU1 would achieve a time of 27:21, a world record that would stand for years.
Damn, years.
The first 3 stages of this run, Flash, Heat, and Air, were all similar to previous records. However, the new antics began in Clashman stage, where NOU1 performed a zip that looked like this. It looks complicated, but behind the scenes it's a bit more straightforward. See, you don't actually need to climb up this ladder.
It just looks like it did the same 3 times.
If you do a horizontal zip, the game will take him there just the same. When you move into the ceiling, you activate a horizontal zip that moves Mega Man forward several screens. When you move to the next screen, the game briefly shows the screen Mega Man is actually on before snapping back to the normal view. This comparison by Biscuit shows what's actually happening. You then simply walk to the right to get through the next few screens, while the game shows you as walking through the ground.
Okay.
Finally, you fall down where there's a ladder, and since it's done when the screen isn't horizontally aligned, it has the same effect as dying by falling in a pit. The game then respawns you much further in the stage, and by releasing an atomic fire shot when you die, the game runs the routine faster.
What the
Clash
fuck?
Man Zip was first seen in NOU1's 2838 and was executed to perfection in this 2721. Also first seen in the 2838 was a second zip on Quickman stage. After falling at the start, you can place 3 item 1s down, do an A trigger in the ceiling, and zip past a long corridor. Unfortunately, the lights turn off, since the light switch responsible for turning them back on never spawns. And that means you have to do the quick laser section of the stage in the dark.
Bro,
You
what
have to
the
memorize
fuck?
exactly where the ledges are, and exactly when to jump off. It's
That's like,
doable with a
do you guys
lot of
remember there was a
practice,
cave in the
but it's
Messenger
one of the most impressive looking parts of the run.
where
It
there's an
also
achievement to
means you
do it
have
without
do
the
both
candle?
The later zip and the boss fight in the dark as well. Once again,
I wonder if I could pull it up real
NOU1
quick.
executed this stage beautifully. Next up was Woodman, a stage that was overhauled starting in Seth Glass's 2751 and continuing in Ferrero's
Messenger
2748.
cave.
First, there was the Dog Scrolls. By going
Okay, so this is 2 minutes. This is with light. So just imagine having to do all this shit without being able to see. It sucked balls. I've done it twice. No, 2, yeah, 2, not 3. I did it on Xbox and on PC. So you have to, first of all, time that grapple hook. Time that grapple hook, obviously. And yeah, there's spikes everywhere. Like this, it doesn't look too bad, but when you can't see what you're doing, it is such a bitch. This game is so fucking good and so cool. Yeah, see there, you have to hit those if you can't see what you're doing. I got really lucky, got through this quickly, man. What was this again? Okay, you have to like open a door or something, right? That's what this line is? Yeah, oh my god, man. Just watching this back, the fact that I did this in the dark is like... Yeah, I was just gonna say, the race in the DLC, I remember it just like ruined the game for me. It was so impossible. And I think I did it 3 times. I don't remember. I don't remember if I did the DLC on Switch. I know I played it on Switch first.
You can do a B trigger and
then it came to Xbox, so I did it again for the achievements.
This needs to be
and then it was on Windows, so I did it again for the achievements.
And you must be careful to not overzip.
But yeah,
but it allows you to skip past the dogs.
Getting all the achievements and in the DLC, and there was the punch out thing,
you
bro.
perform a trick called Good Wood. It looks
hey,
like a complete mess,
hey, yo.
But in reality, it works just like the Clash Man zip in that the screen gets offset with where Mega Man actually is. Visuals from Duckfist show what's really going on. You perform multiple zips, and navigate through the stage while being careful not to fall off.
Oh.
Some of these moves take a large amount of precision, like grabbing an invisible ladder in midair. There's too much going on to concisely explain here, but eventually, you're able to zip and fall to your death late enough in the stage that you respawn at the boss corridor.
Like, how do people figure this shit out?
Parts, it's an incredibly difficult trick.
Even with tool-assisted speedruns, like, what the fuck?
And once again, NOU.
Yes, the music box. Yeah.
And finally,
and dude,
there were the vertical
switching between the 8-bit and 8-bit and 16-bit, and then the music going all warbly when you're in the water.
Mega Man stays at the top.
What a game.
This can save you from having to play through a slow screen. It's used at times in the Woodman zip, but is also used in both Wily 1 and the first half of Wily 4. All these tricks, combined with nearly impeccable execution elsewhere, meant NOU 1 was able to finish at 27:21.
This is fucking insane.
This was a monster world record. Japan had had a vibrant Rockman 2 community for years, and after thousands of attempts from numerous different runners, this run seemed to be the final product. Runners from the Western speedrunning community looked on with awe. Nobody there was close to beating it either. For the next 2 years, this 27:21 was unparalleled at the top.
Ridiculous.
Around the time that NOU 1's record was set, a new runner began playing the game. He'd do attempts off and on for the next couple years, improving his skills but still remaining far from the world record. But in August 2013, after returning from a break, he decided to attempt what no runner had done in the past 2.5 years. Make a push for the world record. His name was Cypher. Cypher's idea was to implement several high-risk, high-reward strategies from the tasks that could save him time. This was a risky move. Although these tricks had the potential to be faster, Cypher knew he would lose a lot of runs going for them.
Yeah, no kidding.
The biggest one was the task.
That's the thing, though. You have no choice if you want to get world records. You got to do that run that has all the high-risk, high-reward shit executed.
You could save up to 10 seconds.
What the
A huge amount of time in an optimized run. But it is tough. You have to very precisely place 2 item 1s in the right spot, and zip multiple times in the span of a few seconds. There's practically no margin for error.
It's so
but
dumb
even
looking.
With a low level of consistency, Cypher felt the time save was worth it. Other new tricks included a short zip in Metal Man, and a zip with item 2 in Bubble Man. Combined, these could save up to about 4 seconds.
All that work for 4 seconds.
He went for a trick called the extended ceiling zip, where you wait out Mega Man's stuck state from item 3 and press down on the next screen to clip high into the ceiling and zip further than normal. A trick found by a runner named Ello. These were really difficult strategies, but Cypher was committed to going for them. His consistency wasn't amazing, and he struggled to get a clean run. By October 2013, he was still nearly a minute off the world record. He would need to shave off more than 55 seconds to beat NOU 1. It would take a miracle to get all that in one run. Right?
On just the second day of attempts, he got a 27:18. A record that will last for 14 years. Until a new runner, on his 3rd ever playthrough of the game, Ba-da-ba-dum-bum-ba-dum.
Yes! Oh!
Holy shit.
Cypher had just cut a full minute off his personal best. It had taken months of grinding, but he was the new Rockman 2 record holder. This run wasn't without its mistakes, however. Some of his zip setups
I always
were
think
slow,
too, you see how he like
particularly in
went and like
Metal
slammed
Man
on his
and
keyboard? Imagine you like
And in
you
Wily
press the
1,
wrong key and you don't
he
hit the
had missed
split.
the vertical wrap altogether. But the time save from Task Clash made up for all that, and it was still a record.
I guess
by
you could like
multiple seconds.
go
Now,
to the like
NOU1's record
you know
has stood
download
for
it,
more
or if
than
you're not recording
2.5
locally,
years. How long
frame by
will
frame,
Cypher's record
stop
be on
it.
top?
But like
Well, how about 6 weeks? Meet Shoka.
I told you, every time a new runner came out of nowhere and got the record.
In December 2013, a runner named Shoka would take 9 seconds off the world record. It was once again performed on Rockman 2. By this point, virtually all top-level competition was on Rockman 2 rather than Mega Man 2, a trend that has continued to this day. Shoka went for the incredibly difficult Task Clash, but skipped some of the smaller time saves, like the bottom Metal Man zip.
Alright, phone is at 76%.
A very consistent, balanced speedrun, with fewer obvious
we should be all
mistakes
good.
than Cypher's run.
Oh,
Shoka
yeah. We
once
have like an
again
hour
uses
left.
10 hertz
An hour left and
auto-time
it's already
that's permitted
down.
in Japanese
Jesus.
communities at the time, but just as before, it's not thought to have given him any significant advantage. The record was starting to get close to a big barrier, a sub 27. To get there, someone would have to save 9 seconds over Shoka's run. Was that possible? Well, there were a few seconds to save from a cleaner Clash zip, and a few in Metal from the extra zip and a cleaner stage. But the largest time save potential came from the boss fights. Specifically, we're gonna look at Heatman, the biggest potential RNG swing in the game.
Oh my god, so on top of all this
After every
crazy
shot
tech, you have
hit
to
him
get the
with,
perfect RNG on
Heatman
him.
can do one of 3 random
Oh
delays.
man.
31 frames, 62 frames, or 93 frames.
So you hold for 31
They're
3 times in a
commonly
row?
rounded to 30, 60, and 90 frames. Each delay has a roughly
Disgusting.
equal chance to occur. In speedruns, players buffer jumps so they don't have to react to the delay. 1 jump means a 30 delay, 2 means a 60, and 3 means a 90. In Rockman 2, Heatman takes 14 Mega Buster shots to kill, meaning there are 13 rolls of the dice for what delay you'll get.
Oh my
An
god.
average pattern has the same number of 30 delays as 90 delays, something like 4 30s, 5 60s, and 4 90s.
Disgusting.
Shoka's 2708 got great RNG, 7 30s, 3 60s, and 3 90s. That leads to an obvious question. What's the best fight anyone's ever gotten? That honor goes to a guy named the Big Boy, who got this unbelievable fight.
I want to play some Mega Man 1. Can I just... Are you kidding me?
Wow, dude.
"12 out of 13 delays were 30s.
Wow.
Odds of 1 in 50,000. In theory, you could
What the
get 13
fuck?
out of 13, but it may never happen. The odds of it are nearly 1 in 1.6 million.
So just run the game
potential for
1.6 million
better
times.
RNG,
You know what I mean?
combined with some mistakes Shoka made, meant Cypher had a few seconds to save here. Added together with time saves elsewhere, and that left enough room for a sub 27.
Just run it 2
But
million
the road
times.
for Cypher would be long. His personal best was still 27:17, meaning he was 18 seconds away.
I actually got 12,
Surely, he wouldn't be able
Chris,
to get there
but it was
all in
because
one
my
go
12th shot landed
again,
so well it hit him twice.
right? On July 9th, 2014, Cypher entered the last stage on a remarkable run, putting him on pace for a 27:01. But there was a little bit of time to save on Wily 6. If he got a fast setup into the ceiling and didn't have to wiggle to enter the door, he would save time over his split. The question was, would it be enough for sub 27?
God, this level, or this game is just so hard on the eyes. Damn.
The run would be retimed to 27:01, leaving Cypher just 2 seconds from his goal.
Fuck.
As you can tell, Cypher had mixed reactions to this. On the one hand, he'd gotten a world record by 7 seconds. But on the other hand, he had just missed his goal time. Where had it gone wrong? Well, he got a mediocre pattern on Heatman, so he didn't gain any time.
Wow, he
there.
was just chilling there, huh?
He also lost a bit of time in Wily 2 from some unlucky drops. But his biggest mistake was in Wily 4, where he missed a vertical wrap to lose 5 seconds.
Oof.
That mistake
5
alone
seconds?
cost him a 26.56.
Oh.
One tiny imprecision was the difference between another 27
He's
minute
washed,
run
man. Bring in someone
and the
new.
world's
You know what I mean?
first 26.
Maybe someone just
So,
played the game a
Cypher
million
knew he had
times.
to keep
What the fuck?
going. It had taken just 3 weeks of attempts to get to 27:01. He was prepared to continue. A run with just one fewer mistake, with just a bit better luck, could be enough to get the
For
26.
one mistake, he's
Any
washed,
attempt could be
dude.
the one.
Can you
But it
imagine
wasn't happening.
being so good
Weeks
at the
passed
game,
with no new
a
record.
notoriously brutal
And
game,
months passed.
that like one
Cypher's
mistake?
personal best
ruins your run.
27:01.
Brother, I make one mistake
And
every
then,
frame
In February 2015,
on any game.
Cypher announced his retirement from speedrunning.
Damn. I mean, hey, he got a
He
world
felt
record,
that
you
it
know?
was taking up too much time and wanted to focus his attention elsewhere. Cypher's legacy would remain.
He saw
however.
boobs for the first time, I
Over
think.
the years, Cypher entertained
I get it.
thousands with his runs.
Those things
and
be
together
fucking
with Shoka,
awesome.
Took the record down right to the limits of the 27-minute mark. But he didn't quite achieve his goal. The Cypher era of Rockman 2 had come to an end without his sub 27.
1.3k views. Damn, nice, man.
A trick found by a runner named Elo.
You could just do it in the air, too? I thought it was, like, getting activated because of the pipe or something. What the fuck? Oh, I didn't realize.
This
I thought there were
was
just
quite a
bosses at the end of the
situation
stage. This is a
Elo
boss
found
rush?
himself in.
Fuck this game.
On pace for a 26:55 with one stage to go. Who was this guy? Well, Elo had started running the game in 2013.
Well, a Twitch
and
partner.
started a steady march of improvements.
Back
He
when it was
stayed
really
well
hard to be a
behind
Twitch
Shoka
partner.
and Cypher's records, but throughout 2014, the gap got smaller. Finally, by November, he was within striking distance. His skill level was on par with Cypher's, and he started doing sub 27 attempts. This had been a great run through Wily 3, cleaning up the mistakes that Cypher had made. But the amazing part started in Wily 4. Elo hit everything, including his own extended ceiling zip, leading to a gold split. And thanks to beautiful luck and execution in Wily 5, he got his second gold split in a row.
Jesus.
The fastest he had ever completed two of the most important stages in the run. It led to him being 6 seconds ahead of the record into Wily 6. But there's one other aspect of Elo's game we haven't talked about yet. Elo is an incredible button masher. He can mash at 16 presses per second. 10 Hz autofire would be a huge disadvantage to him. This comes into play in a few
Wow.
spots, like the dragon in Wily 1, but nowhere is it more important than on the alien in Wily 6. The alien starts
So
on the
Dr.
right,
Wily is an
then
alien?
moves in
Or
a
is it just in this
figure-eight
game?
pattern around the screen.
Where it wasn't
Your
actually
goal
Dr.
is to
Wily
hit
the whole
him
time?
28 times by the time he leaves the right side for the second time. If not, you lose a few seconds. Even for top runners, this can sometimes be difficult, since you can only hit him when he's low enough and you have to worry about hugging the alien. But Elo was better at this than anyone. And after entering the door in Wily 6, he was just an alien fight away from the world's first sub-27.
Oh, do it, man, do it. God, my eyes. That's so sick.
For the first time ever, Rockman 2 had been beaten in under 27 minutes.
That's fucked.
As celebration poured in across the community, Elo seemed to be in a state of shock. He'd snap out of it quickly though, and spent the next several months working on other speedrunning projects. All the while, his 2657 remained the only run under the 27-minute barrier.
That's gonna be the best
no
feeling.
challengers for his record, and it remained on top well into 2015. But was it a perfect run? Of course not. There were a couple zips where he stopped short and had to do a lot of wiggling.
Okay.
And on Quickman, he got a bad pattern and had to waste several seconds waiting for an extra clash bomb to explode.
And he still got the.
Part of the problem with the run was task
Oh, Chris,
clash,
you're,
the
man,
hardest
Chris, what
trick
a
in the
guy,
game.
what a fella.
Elo successfully hit it in the 2657, but a majority of his runs that made it there failed the trick and had to be reset. That meant the overall quality of his runs suffered. There was a choke point 4 stages into the run, so a lot of potentially good speedruns never saw the light of day. But Task Clash saved 10 seconds. You couldn't just skip it if you wanted record. Enter the Big Boy. Back in 2012, the Big Boy found an alternate version of Task Clash where you went to the right at the start to place item 1, instead of climbing up right away. It wasn't paid much attention to at the time, but it was actually a significantly easier method of doing the trick, since it reduced the precision of your inputs overall. It did lose a second and a half, but that would easily be worth not having to reset as often. The trick would go on to be nicknamed Biggie, in honor of its creator. So, when Elo came back to runs in August 2015, he did Biggie instead of Task Clash. For a few months, it didn't necessarily seem to be paying off. No records, and many runs dying to the last Wily stages. But on October 22nd, Elo had a fantastic heat fight. 830s, 460s, and just 190. That put him 3.5 seconds ahead of the record, so
Nice.
even when he lost time going for Biggie, he was still easily on pace. With a clean Quickman stage and faster vertical wraps on Wily 1, he was nearly 6 seconds ahead. But that lead would erode over a strong final 4 splits. He lost a bit in Wily 3 from bad luck, and had slow, quick, and clash fights in Wily 5. But a
Damn.
slight lead still remained, and after some incredible mashing on the alien, it was enough to take the record 1 second lower.
Wild.
1 year to lower the record 1 second. That's how tough Rockman 2 runs were becoming. It took months for even the best player in the world to get a record improvement. Who could say how long the next record would take?
3 days. 1 day.
The very next day, Elo was a couple seconds ahead going into the refights.
Brother.
Wily 5
These videos are
boss
so
refights
awesome.
is one of the most random
Every
parts
time.
of the game. The biggest points of
Every
variance are
time.
quick, air, and heat. Quickman has random high jumps and boomerang throws that can lose you time. Airman
Oh, yeah,
has
'cause you
different
can't hit 'em.
projectile patterns he can shoot out. Elo's goal was to get a 2-cycle fight with the Leaf Shield, but it often wasn't possible even with good execution. And Heatman works just like he did the first time, but only has 4 spots for delays instead of 13. The execution on some of these fights is tough too, especially quick, air, and wood. So, Elo just had to do his best and hope his RNG and execution was good enough to keep the run alive.
Oh, I got screwed hard. PB's over. You have no idea how much time that costs. And then I flew the Clash Fire, it's over. I haven't even seen the major RNG, and it's already over. Oh. It's over.
It just rinses the bosses in like a split second.
90.
Oh
90.
my god.
If you didn't know it's over, it's over.
It wasn't over. The refights weren't great, but Elo was only a second behind overall. And with a really good zip and fast alien kill, he could save up to 2 seconds.
So that's what's crazy is that he keeps going. I guess because even if it's a bad run, like the practice.
I saw 55, so that's actually a big
Elo's second record in 2 days. He was now 6 seconds ahead of Cypher, and had held the world record for a full year. But Elo still wasn't satisfied.
That's crazy.
He had aspirations for something bigger. He continued grinding the game off and on for a few months, but was unable to lower the record any further. The 26:55 was a pretty clean run. Maybe he had reached his ultimate goal. But if he was to beat it again,
So I guess
he
it
would
gets
be
changed
Wily
because like
5.
they go
It was
back and realize like
possible
they
to
didn't
save
hit the button.
5.5 seconds on that
They didn't
split
split it
alone.
like on the frame that it
So,
actually finished,
if
right?
he could at least keep it close through Wily 4, then he could save a few seconds in Wily 5 to put him back in front. He just needed to be within striking distance going into the refights. One day in late January 2016, Elo started up a run and would gain a second on Quickman from a better boss fight. And from there, he chipped away frames until entering the Wily stages, 1.5 seconds ahead of the record. Being ahead this deep into the run was impressive. He just had to keep it close by the time he got to Wily 5. But he didn't keep it close. He pulled further ahead.
What the fuck?
With a nearly flawless Wily 1 and 2. He was 3 seconds ahead going into Wily 3. But there was potential to lose some time on the Wily 3 boss. He takes 14 shots to kill, and you have to jump up and mash the fire button in a brief window while in the air. Ideally, you want to do this in 3 jumps, or about 5 shots per jump, but sometimes it can take 4 jumps or even longer. But as we know, Elo's really good at mashing.
Is he doing it in 2? What the hell?
This was the first 2-jump kill in Rockman 2 history. 7 hits per jump. It had been theorized and done in practice, but never before had someone hit it in a speedrun. Elo just needed to be close going into Wily 5. Instead, he was 3.8 seconds ahead. And sure enough, he picked up some more time on the refights, gaining 3 seconds to put him 6.8 seconds ahead.
Don't choke it, don't choke it, don't choke it.
This was the chance of a lifetime for Elo.
Don't choke
if he could
it.
just close it out.
Wow, dude. 26:48.
This wasn't just a record.
Whew. Can you imagine
It
if he
was the
soft locked
demolition
that
of a
fucking
video
slide?
game. After becoming the first runner to get a sub 27, Elo had now become the first and only to get a sub 2650 as well. This wasn't just the best run of Rockman
Crazy.
2 ever performed. It was one of the strongest world records of any game. Elo himself said that he was done. The community was in awe of what he had accomplished, and nobody would even try beating it.
For 3 days.
As 2016 continued, the game entered a period of dormancy at the top. People were still running the game, but Elo's skill level was far above the rest. Only
That's
2
so
runners had a
crazy.
sub 27, and nobody was within 10 seconds of the record. 2017 came around. Still nothing. By this point, Elo's record had stood for over a year. There was just nobody good enough to beat it. Well, nobody who wasn't retired, at least. Cypher retired in early 2015 with his 2701. Since then, new strategies had been developed that would allow that time to be significantly faster. If anyone in the community could beat Elo, it would be Cypher.
Oh my god.
But unfortunately, he wasn't interested in coming back.
Never mind.
Cypher had moved on, and the community would just have to accept that. Someone else would need to be the one to beat the 2648. And then came AGDQ 2018. That year, a runner named Sinister1 was organizing a relay race of Mega Man 1 through 3 for Awesome Games Done Quick. And he really wanted Cypher to participate. He hadn't ran the game in 3 years,
He's gonna
but he was a hugely important
do it
part of the
live
game's
in
history.
person and get the record?
Cypher
Fuck
resisted.
off.
He was done with speedrunning and had no interest in returning. But Sinister kept pushing. And finally, after having time to consider it, Cypher agreed to play the game for the relay race. He had 3 years of rust to shake off. It was hard to say how well his skills would translate after such a long time off. He learned the new strategies and built up his consistency with all the game's tricks. After weeks of diligent practice, race day finally arrived. And to give you an idea of how the event went, going into Mega Man 2, Cypher's team was in last place of the 4 teams. 28 minutes later, his team went into Mega Man 3 with the lead. Cypher had single-handedly taken his team from last to first place, and largely thanks to his performance, they would go on to win the race. Cypher's skill was still clearly all there. He hadn't lost anything
So
in
sick.
his 3 years of retirement.
So sick.
And when combining his abilities with the developments that had been made, who knew what his limits could be? So, roughly 40 months after his last session of world record attempts, Cypher decided he was going to make one more push for the record. The road was going to be tough. Cypher had achieved a 26:59 in preparation for the relay race, but he was still 11 seconds behind Elo. While that was good for second place, it seemed like he still had a long way to go. But suddenly in late January 2018, Cypher would find himself on world record pace late into a run.
I guess it's just because he's
After a
played the game so much that he has
fantastic
enough muscle
robot
memory that even
stages
after
and a
3
big
years,
time
it's
save
still
on
there,
Wily
right?
5, he was 2 seconds ahead of Elo.
Does he have like thousands of attempts and hours at this
There are
point?
2
Like it's
steps
just
to the
burnt
last
in your
stage.
brain.
First, you need to get the zip and enter the boss room. Mission perfectly accomplished. Step 2, fight the alien and get a right side kill.
Oh my god.
Damn.
I can't believe I threw it away at the alien.
Fuck, man.
The alien fight had gone horribly wrong. He took damage too early and got turned around multiple times while trying to mash. It cost him the record, but he still did get a decent PB out of it. But that's okay. He had already gotten a record-paced run to the last stage. World record was right around the corner.
You know what I
Cypher
just thought of?
continued
You know what would be
doing
really
attempts,
good for
now just 5
speedrunners is
seconds away
the
from
Stream Deck
record.
pedal.
But strangely, despite being right
Think about
there,
it like your hands
he found himself
are on the
unable
controller.
to take the remaining time off his personal
You
best.
you don't even have to like
He was
move to the
getting
keyboard or
runs
whatever.
deep, but the combination of
Just
Wily
press the
4,
pedal,
5,
clap.
and 6 were able to shut it down every time. Even though Cypher could get on record pace through Wily 3, closing it out through the last 3 stages is really tough. The attempts continued, but
So was
Cypher's
Darbian when he was
personal
streaming,
best
he used
stayed
one?
put.
Yeah, makes sense.
The time he had sunk into the game was adding up, and he wasn't getting the returns
It's honestly,
he wanted.
it's a really cool
He had come
thing.
out of retirement for a record grind.
If
but
I
while
had
the
the space that
grind
could
was certainly
justify it, I
real,
would do it for
the
like
record was nowhere to be found. And all the while, Cypher
Probably
felt
like
like he
my
was
mic
neglecting something.
mute and unmute
Perhaps
and
it's best to let
voice
him
mod.
explain it.
Around that time, I was trying to break
think there's
into
3
the tech
buttons.
industry as a
I
software
don't know.
engineer. You know, I needed to find a job. So during this time,
No, Chris, I literally don't have any
looking for
USB
jobs,
ports.
And in my spare time, I was working on Mega Man 2. I did about a month of serious
I don't have
grinding,
space, and
then
I don't have money.
I had
So
decided the Mega Man 2 grind is simply too distracting. Like, I'm not
for now,
doing as much work as I would like to be doing on the job search, and I feel like I need to put down the Mega Man 2. And I decided, I just picked a weekend, and I told myself, all right, I'm gonna do attempts up until this, and if it doesn't happen, then it just doesn't happen, and I need to buckle down on the job search.
that's fair.
So, he had a deadline.
Bro, his facial hair looks amazing.
The first
Jesus.
weekend of February. It quickly approached, and Cypher poured in attempts to try and get the record.
I think I had a 9-hour stream and then an 11-hour stream on Saturday.
I'm so
and
jealous.
Sunday.
Holy fuck.
They were like, I never do attempt sessions that long. Those were marathon attempt sessions. I was probably, I mean, the play quality was probably not that great across both of those sessions, just because I was going much harder than I would have gone otherwise for a normal attempt session. But yeah, that's how it was.
And by the end of it all, no new record. Cypher's deadline had come and gone, and Elos 2648 was still on top. It was time to give up the record grind.
Hello, my goat.
But he decided to give himself one more chance before throwing in the towel for good. On that Monday, he decided to participate in one last speedrunning event. One that was organized by Sinister One, the same guy who initially got Cypher back into the grind with the AGDQ relay race. This event was called Chase for the Record.
Dude, I love this type of shit. Already, speedrun events are so cool, like AGDQ and all that stuff.
Chase for the Record is an online
But I love when you have like the
competition where you'll
multiple
take
screens
typically
at
the
once and
best
shit.
4 players in a game that is highly competitive at a moment in time, and get all of them to play at the same time, to do attempts at the same time.
So
and then
cool.
you can kind of show like who's actually on a good pace, and hopefully see a world record during the attempts, which is generally about a 3-hour window.
This event would feature 4 competitors. Cypher and Ella were the first 2, the former and current world record holders. The third was Zoda, a promising runner whose best time was in the low 27s. And the fourth was Cool Kid, but you might know him better as the Big Boy.
Oh!
He had changed his username and started running Rockman 2 seriously, and had driven his time all the way down to 26:56, a legitimate world record contender. This was going to be Cypher's last
His camera
chance.
just reminded me
3 hours to
of
get it
Germa's
done. But the
hypercam.
odds of him actually pulling this off,
I gotta write this down because I'm gonna
great.
forget.
I think Cypher was hoping for big things, but you know, realistically, you can't expect.
I'm gonna do it on the notepad so I don't
game of such a high
forget.
level of difficulty that you would actually get the
I
record.
also have to
The
show
odds are very low.
you guys
They're not in your favor.
that Neander's video
my
where
last
she's
day
showing the
in
site where you could
Capcom,
fly around
and it
and
would have been a sort
in
of
levels?
historic moment where it would be the
so I'm gonna
first
write it
time
here so
anyone
it's
ever set a
in my
record during an event
vision.
like this.
So in the beginning of the event,
Neander's
typically you want to kind of introduce the game to the audience. So we have
cam
them doing no reset run.
vid
4-way race.
Nice mashing there from Cool Kid. He can finish it off.
Looks like
Germa
27, 28.
hypercam.
Wow.
And then it was on into attempts.
But Cypher has moved on. He is going to be into Heatman in a moment, and Zoda right into
Actually, I'll put
attempts
it
as well.
I'm not
Here?
sure I've ever been as focused on anything in my life.
And Cypher going to set up this first zip here. Nicely done.
Yep, right up against the ceiling. That's what you're looking to see from any of those item 1 zip setups.
I've got 3 hours. I'm gonna try my best to make it happen, and whatever happens, happens.
Watch the Super Mario Bros. Chase the record actually. How was
That's
it?
probably the most favorable pattern.
Pretty
Like the
quickly, I got
OG
a run
NES
in the
one?
game, and I got a
Dude,
run to
that game
Wily
can be
too.
beat
That was
in
on
like
good
5
pace.
minutes.
I'm pretty sure it was on record pace.
He's in.
Oh, no.
He didn't go far enough to the right.
No, that's rough.
Ah, man, he was like 1 pixel away, and he stopped.
I was a little disappointed, but I was like, you know what? It's just one run. We like immediately into another run. I was very accepting of the probable outcome that I wouldn't set the record on that show.
As Cool Kid makes his way into what many think is the most dangerous stage in the game. Wily 4, Purple Hell.
Cool Kid managed to get on a run, and he actually got a small PB
for this, just being on this show. Okay, let's see what kind of entry he gets. Really.
Guess you haven't watched any Assault's Mario Bros vids yet? I don't think
was
so.
just not paying attention to anything else.
He has
happening
so
in the
many
event.
videos.
I
It's
was
awesome
not
because
listening
there's
to the
such a good
commentary.
time, and because I haven't watched many of them, there's so much React Andy potential.
Okay.
Get mashing. And he finishes it off.
26:56.
But it's great for like those days where, you know,
I'm
if I
not sure
finish
I even
something,
knew
let's say
that
I'm
got a
planning on
TV.
streaming till
Someone may
11
have
o'clock and I
mentioned
finish the
like
game
that.
at like 9.
Cypher.
It's like I don't want to start something new at that point, so why not watch one or two Summoning Salt videos, or you know?
Going so far, but of course,
Actually,
still early
I was saying if I
game.
don't finish Destiny Rising tonight, which I probably won't, Tuesday it
I got
won't take all
past
day.
the early game gauntlet of you know, Air and Clash. I got past.
So I might try to
the
find
Biggie
like a
special.
3-hour
Once you get
game.
past the Biggie special at the
But we
start
could
of
also
Clash,
just watch some
then
Summoning
you
Salt.
have a real run.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's in good shape here. Yet again, gonna be moving on.
And then I realized I got another run to the Wily stages within half an hour after losing that Wily 2 pace. Like I'm just playing out of my mind.
So
He's
fun
gotta be
fact,
thinking
you see
about
how
what
his
happened last time when
webcam
Wiley
is
two
like
here, so
his audio is super far
hopefully
behind
he's
and
able to
shit.
get this zip
That's
set
like
up.
not only a common thing, but
Yeah, I'm always worried
it could
about
also just be the lighting.
That
Webcams
one's
are
good.
so
That
shit
one's
with low
definitely
light.
good. The pace.
That's why I have an LED panel there, I have an LED panel there, I have a lamp there, I have a lamp there, and I have an LED panel there, and
So
an
the
LED panel
difficulty
there.
of Wily 4 is that you really have to draw on all
And
the disciplines.
when I open
that
OBS
you
and I only have my
in
ceiling light on,
Rockman 2.
it's
You have
dog shit.
horizontal zips. You have vertical zips. You have item 3 drops.
Mario
You
Bros.
have
Vids are some of my
a door
favorite.
crash that you have to do. Everything has to come together in this one stage where it's very high pressure.
And I kept just playing well and not losing it anywhere. And Wily 4 happened, went well.
I can't get over how he is
Famous
literally
pace,
the
but that's a
perfect mustache,
45.
bro.
So he is on world record pace going into refights.
So going into Wily 5, we knew Cypher was on a good pace. We didn't know his exact pace because as the way commentators had things set up, we can't really see their splits. So we knew he's ahead, but not by how much. He goes air first, which can really go badly if you don't get a good pattern, and he got a decent pattern. So we were thinking, okay, there's a chance here.
Important. He's getting a really nice fight so far.
Nice, these low jumps.
Oh yeah, this is good.
Once he got past Quick Man, we were kind of like, this is
You
probably
know what I always
gonna
find
be
crazy?
it.
This could be world record.
Like,
right
not
here,
only
right now.
is everything
on Chase
so
for the
precise, but in
record.
speedruns, I'm always like, yo, the way they
just need
navigate
to do
menus
this
is
zip,
crazy.
And I need to mash down the alien, and then I'll be able to achieve this thing.
It's fucking
that
mental.
would just be a massive, massive moment and accomplishment for me.
Oh, that's good. That's good. He's
Let's go.
in there.
We're in there. Let's go.
All right, he just has to match.
Get it, bro. Get it, bro.
Throw everything off, but if he can avoid this first shot, he'll be in good shape.
Just don't touch the alien.
All right,
Okay.
first phase good.
Oh my god.
Good.
Dude, we got this. We got it.
It was a truly euphoric moment. It was euphoric.
That's it! World record!
You can hear
Cypher has
Cypher.
just had a
Wow.
world record 26:43.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Okay, so this was an event all done like from
I
home
was
and
just
shit.
overwhelmed with emotion. I can't describe it any other way.
We saw that, not only is this record, but this is record.
I haven't been
by
paying
a
attention to like the
significant amount.
webcams,
I was just
face
kind
cams
of
at all.
floored. He had done this knowing that, this is your last time that you're actually going to be running the game.
Wow.
It's now or never.
I was just overwhelmed with emotion, and then I just started crying.
That's fucking awesome.
The run would be retimed as a 26:42, beating Elo by 6 seconds.
That's
And
so
Cypher could
much.
finally take his well-deserved break.
That's
At the
bro.
end of the day, you just can't keep Cypher from Rockman 2. He'd spend the next few weeks on other tasks, but Rockman 2 was still calling his name.
You just
And
it's
sure enough, by March, He was back to doing record attempts.
6
But
seconds
this time,
at that
he
time
wasn't
is
alone.
crazy.
Cool Kid had driven his PB all the way down to 26:47, good for second place. And he was coming for the top spot. Cypher and Cool Kid were in a race for the next world record. They'd have new strategies to help. A high-level runner named Prizzy had developed a couple. First, there was the Clashman manip.
The
By
Clashman
jumping
just
and
dab?
shooting left at the start of the fight, you can guarantee the 2-shot quick kill to save a bit of time. And second, Prizzy rediscovered that you could use item 3 to jump through the floor in Wily 4 to save time. This had been done in runs years ago, but Prizzy found that even though you have to wait for item 3 to disappear before doing the vertical wrap, it still saved time. There had also been a new strategy discovered in Quickman stage that Cypher first did in his 26:42. By doing a slight hesitation during the first zip, you could keep the lights on. It didn't save time on its own, but it made the rest of the stage easier. Cypher and Cool Kid
Makes
both
sense.
had a legitimate shot at this. But on March 16th, Cypher found himself 6.5 ahead into Wily 5.
Like how?
A chance to crush the category. Unfortunately, despite getting a great airman pattern, he misexecuted and lost 5 seconds. He'd finish it off as a 26:41. Still a small world record, but Cypher couldn't help but feel disappointed. This run wasn't what it could have been. It had the potential for a 26:3x time. A time that would have
Holy.
seemingly put the record out of reach. A time that he had theorized with Elo years prior for the absolute limits of the category. But one mistake in Wily 5 prevented it all.
So fucked.
This is it. This is it. I just need, like, I need a decent refights.
A lot of high jumps. Holy.
This was the record Cypher had been looking for. It
Brother.
was a solid run through Wily 4. He lost
But it was
a
all
little
red
bit of time
splits
on the
too.
Airman and Quickman fights in their respective stages. But he knew he had time to save in Wily 5, and he saved 7 seconds. It put him well into the 26:3x range, and he
Wasn't it
closed
all red
out with
splits?
26:37. And as it turned out,
Yeah.
this was good enough for Cypher to end the grind. He stopped playing the game, and his record remained far ahead of anyone else. Well, at least for a little while. Because just a few weeks later, Cool Kid was on his way.
Brother.
His time was down to 26:43, still 6 seconds from Cypher, but he was closing in quickly. See, Cool Kid wasn't just any speedrunner. He was also the Mega Man 1 record holder, a title he had held off and on for more than 3 years. It made sense that
It could
he
be,
would
Sam,
one day
but
hold the Mega
that's
Man
the case
2
every
record
time.
as well. But he had a really tough world record to beat.
Well,
with
the world
26:37.
record was at the event.
On May 7th, Cool Kid got on a run that had a below average Heatman pattern, meaning he'd have some time to make up. He'd save a bit from a faster air fight, then saved a couple in quick from a frame perfect
Just means he was behind his world
By
record.
triggering
Yeah,
it on
which
the
means
first
that
frame possible,
it could be
Mega
improved.
Man only gets pushed up 1 tile instead of 2, meaning you can quickly zip through the boss corridor as well. Just about the only substantial mistake through the 8 robots was missing the initial item 1 placement on the Woodman zip. Going into Wily 6, he was about a second behind the record. If he could perfectly crash the door on the zip, he might just barely be able to get this.
Oh my god. This might world record, alright.
The run would be retimed to a 26:37.00, beating the record by 10 frames. Cypher's massive world record had only been standing for about 4 weeks.
What
More than
the
6
fuck?
years after his initial Biggie discovery, Cool Kid had become the record holder. And then,
Wow.
everything went silent. For the first time in months, there was no active competition for Rockman 2's world record. Cypher had moved on. Cool Kid had moved on. And nobody else was within striking distance. And so, the record stood. And it stood for years. Through the rest of 2018, all of 2019, and all of 2020, Cool Kid's 26:37 stayed put as the world record. There were no rivals, no contenders. Nobody could beat the pair of 26:37 in the top spots.
Probably, yeah.
But then, in early 2021, guess who came back to run the game?
Look what you just saw, Karua. Look what you just waddled your way into.
Although he hadn't done serious record attempts in several years, Elo started up the grind again in January 2021. It had been so long. Could he still compete with
Mega
the
Man
time
sucks.
set by Cypher?
Yeah, I
and
only
Cool
like
Kid?
him in Smash Bros.
Well, he quickly got a 2-second personal best. Then he took another 2 seconds off. And then another. Now down to 26:42, Elo was quickly honing in on the world record. It
Imagine
all
being
came
that
to a
cracked.
head on
You just
March
come back to the game like
26th,
5 years later,
2021.
and you start making the
Elo
world
got on a
record
run
holders
that
scared.
gained time early, but bled a bit
Wild.
going into the Wily stages.
Wild, bro.
Entering Wily 3, he was about 2 seconds ahead. This was a serious chance at a sub 26:40.
Hey, Chris, while you're at
But
it,
given that his best possible time from here was a 26:34,
you love women, right? Name every
it
woman.
actually still had an outside shot at the world record. This was a small but possible chance to jump straight to the record.
Need I continue?
Whoa, my power almost just went out. Oh my god, my TV's all I'm not even kidding. What the My power just massively flickered and my TV looks completely I'm not even kidding. All the colors just went Am I still whoa, it did it again, did it again, did it again. And my power went out. Are you serious?
Elo would continue doing runs for a few
How was he
weeks,
still recording? He has a
but he'd
UPS like
never
me?
take his personal best under 26:42. To this
That's
day,
awful.
that's where his best time stands.
I know he lived
He's
in
still
Quebec.
considered
True.
one of the best to ever play the game, but it remains to be seen if he'll ever take the record again.
That's
However, it wouldn't
Fuck you,
take
Mother
long for
Nature.
there to be more competition at the top
There
level.
already is. I shouldn't say that because they
just
were getting
a few
ice rain
months later,
tonight.
Cypher would return.
Did I just
to the
jinx
game.
myself? Let me check the weather app.
A big reason why Cypher and Elo came back in 2021 was a new, faster way to play the Wily stages. It was first
Freezing rain
found
on
in a
Monday.
task from 2015.
Beginning
but was
overnight Sunday night and
rediscovered
ending
by
Monday late in the
Shizzy
day.
2020. You start by using
Oops.
item 2 on Wily 3 instead of Wily 1, which is still pretty fast, but saves a bit of item 2 ammo. This allows you to fly through
Mother
Wily
Nature kind of a
4
melt.
spike
Hey, oh.
screens. On the first, you want to wait until you take damage, then use item 2 on the next screen to avoid having to wait for the conveyor. On screen 3, you can place item 2 at the top and quickly make it to the other side. Altogether, this saves about 2.5 seconds, but it is quite a bit more difficult than the old route. There was also a new zip in Wily 3 that saved a bit over a second, and a runner named Endy had a new setup for the dog scrolls that made them more consistent in exchange for a small time loss. All these strategies were enough to make Cypher come back. He knew the record could go under 26:37, but just how far wasn't clear. He grinded for months, and initially didn't see any results. But on July 10th,
I wonder
he
if it's
had
going
a
to get
run
under
that fell behind the world
26:30.
record early. A bad airman pattern, slow execution of Biggie, and no frame perfect zip on quick. But he saved it all
Washed.
back and more in
Get him
the
outta
Wily
here.
stages.
Bring in someone
The
new.
Wily 3 zip, the new Wily 4 route, it all combined to save him several seconds.
But the way he looks when he mashes.
Now I did it! Ah! Yes! Oh my god!
For the 6th time, he had set the Rockman 2 world record.
Insane, bro.
But you know something interesting about Cypher? Despite being one of the best to ever play the game, the longest any of his previous 5 records ever stood was 4 months. He was often the first to break a long-lasting record, but for each and every world record he set, someone else would beat him shortly after. This 2634 was a nice improvement, but it wasn't perfect. He did lose a lot of time early on. There was only one way for Cypher to guarantee he wouldn't be beaten.
Beat
Get
himself
a perfect
off.
run.
Oh, beat himself. Cypher's the guy who broke the records that lit fires. Yeah, everybody gets a fire lit under the ass, and like they're like, "Oh, this is possible. If he can do it, I can do it." Type shit. I really wonder if it's gonna go under 2630. I think it's might be possible.
Oh, don't tell me to pay some mod, please.
11 seconds? And he has a 2634? But you see, right there, 1.4 seconds lost. Start over. The Darwin effect, bro, would play a game for a bit, then a speedrunning community for it would light up. That's so crazy. That's gotta be such a cool feeling.
Alright.
Although, I could see how it could be very stressful for some people as well. It puts like a pressure on you. But, that's gonna be such a crazy feeling to like...
Yo, that's hilarious.
It was on pace for 2626. Cypher was set up to get the game's biggest record cut in 8 years. But he went for an extremely quick kill on the alien that's far harder to execute than normal. It was supposed to look like this. It would have been his ultimate run.
Fuck
it
me.
would have been the culmination of a nearly decade-long journey.
So
It wasn't meant
2630.
to be. And to this day, he's still searching for it.
Oh.
As for his fastest completed run, his 2634, it would go on to be Cypher's longest standing world record. It remained on top for 7 months. But it's not where the world record stands today. That honor goes to Cool Kid. On February 3rd, 2022, Cool Kid set the game's current world record. It got off to a great start, with a fast airman fight and clean clashman stage. And from there to the finish, it continued on a steady pace, never pulling way ahead of the record, but also avoiding any catastrophes. He lost a bit in Wily 2 from picking up health, and had to wiggle a bit in Wily 6.
I don't know if he's fast enough.
It was fast enough, Cool Kid. And to this day, this run remains as the world record. As far as this game has come, its future is still wide open. A sub 2630 is on its way, but as players improve and new strategies are developed, even lower times will become possible. Cool Kid and Cypher are the two most likely to take it there.
Chris and I are going to bring it under
who knows
25
who may
minutes.
come along
You'll
in the
see.
future.
You'll see.
There's certainly a lot of possibilities. The top 8 runs on the leaderboard are each from a different country. Regardless, this game still has a long history yet to be written. Thanks for watching.
There is a new... Oh yeah, when was this uploaded? 3 years ago. Oh. Once again, courtesy of Summoning Salt. Go show love on the original video. Give it a like. Subscribe and all that good stuff. Cypher took it back? Really? Wild, man, wild. What a good video. Oh, History of Castlevania World Records. Man, he's got so many good videos. Dude, once again, go show love to Summoning Salt, the GOAT. When isn't it a good video? That's what I'm saying. Every Summoning Salt video fucking rules, man. That was awesome. That was such a good time. I will end the recording there. So YouTube, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.